Well, I got some notes from folks asking me to show the interior of this machine, so I'm going to do that. I got this boot disc from, I think it's an Aranim or a Atari distro, and it's got a bunch of toys in it. This X boot is really cool utility. So let's boot multitoss. Right now we're running 68030 at 50 megahertz, 64 meg of TT RAM, 8 meg of alt RAM, and 4 meg of ST RAM for a total of 72 meg of memory. I'm also booting from the onboard IDE controller that's on board the 68030 accelerator. I have some screenshots of the tests. I'm going to go ahead. So let's see here. So we have, this is a fun toy. Okay, so while we're listening to that, let's go ahead and, oops, let's load, works, do something productive. Now there's also, QED, which is another editor. Oops, it's not running, huh? Let's see, let's run a demo here. So you can see, you can multitask. Oops, sorry to bump you. So let's go ahead and shut down. This is running, are you still on screen? Yeah, okay. This is running multitoss. I think it's Mint 1.04. So we're going to go ahead and, oops. So now one thing that's cool, you can run GemBench while this stuff is running, and it will show you the impact of that D. Oops. So here's the machine itself. I'm going to lift you up. Let's see here. And tilt you forward. Oh, duh. Here we go. And this is the machine in question. See if we can get you framed here. I'm not sure. This is a cheap stand. Okay. So we have an STFM. Obviously, I'm proud of some of the upgrades. It's got a GoTech with an OLED and a click mod. which I don't actually use that much. I don't use floppy. It's also got Ultra Satan Mini. And if we back up a little bit, there's your IDE controller. I'll reboot so you can see it blink. You get about 1300K per second on that. So let's go ahead and pull the skins off of it and show you that. Okay, so the GoTech, the problem with this machine is that all the mods in it, the doggone keyboard won't lay down. So here's the interior, most of it anyway. Am I straining any cables? Oh, actually, let me move it over a little bit more. So this plastic bag here contains the real-time clock. I just didn't have a better place to put it, so I just stuffed it in an anti-stat bag. Hey, I did zip the zip thing, so cut me some slack there. This wire is involved with selecting which version of TOS. And here is your TF536. It's got 64 meg of RAM. This is the heart of it, or that it does bus arbitration between the 8 megahertz 68,000 bus that it's plugged into, and this 32-bit 50 megahertz processor here, which is a 68030. And I really wish I had an FPU, not because I genuinely need one, but because for some reason the guys who do Mint, the operating system, which we were looking at just a moment ago, don't don't compile for an FPU-less machine that has upgrades. It's just weird. So here, what I've done, what I started with, as you can see right there, is this is sitting on top of the MMU, and what it's doing is it's providing 4 meg of ST RAM. It's an Exos product. We're going to go ahead and take our 68030 out carefully. Come on out. There we go. So now we have no IDE connector, but I do have the Ultra Satan. This gives you a better view of the upgrade. This is the MMU. It just plugs down on the MMU, and it plugs over to this board here, which you do have to assemble the board, and you have to socket the shifter chip. And then you plug this board in and then plug the shifter in, and boom shakalaka, you got 4 megs of RAM. One other thing, you may notice here that these are all tied together. Those are picked up from the board and tied together in order to disable access to this memory for the processor. I still have power to them. I gather it's good practice to take to depower them, to either clip them out or at least clip the power pins, but I hadn't bothered yet. This was a working machine, because at some point I might want to downgrade it, and if I did, I could just strap those back down, have my mega RAM, and pull this 4 meg, or, I had to have some flexibility. Over here is a Storm 8 meg upgrade. It's an 8 meg alt RAM upgrade, and beneath it is a similar board called Cloudy. So together, I get, with the two, I get 8 meg of alt RAM to go with the 4 meg. Even if I used it just 68,000 processor, so I get 8 meg of alt RAM, 4 meg of ST RAM, TOS 2.06 and MUTOS 1.0.1 in there, which is selectable by a jumper. So that is pretty much it. This is the TF534. This one was sold for the Amiga, and I went ahead and bought it knowing that there was some alpha, this cable and this adapter and that card are mine. There was some alpha firmware for to run this on the Atari ST, so I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it, and so I did. I got this, and then I realized that I needed TOS. I think it's 1.62 or above, or maybe it's 2.06 or above, but it's a 68030 aware TOS. EmuTOSes also qualify. In order for the machine to come up and start acting like an ST, it would give me bombs, and it actually did show some intelligence, but it wasn't perfect. So, oops. Let me see if I can put you back. So let me see what else. Oh, I also underneath the power supply here, I yanked the TOS ROMs because they've got to go. The RAM and the TOS ROMs have to go for different reasons. When I replaced the TOS over here with Cloudy, I needed to disable the existing TOS, and so that's what that is. I actually sent the chips to a fella, I think in Australia, just for fun. So this is the Ultra Satan Mini. It's just a 15-pin D fabricated into the circuit board. I put this little plastic sandwich around it. It's got a real-time clock, and it's got two. It's got two micro SD cards. And it's also very easy to misplug in, so you got to make sure you got all the pins lined up when you're doing it. It's also easy to plug into the printer port, so don't do that. Okay. And we'll go ahead and plug Mr. 68030 back in. Now, if I just plug a 16-bit processor in, it'll run with TOS 2.06 or EmuTOS 1.01 and 4 meg of RAM and 8 meg of alt RAM. And that's the reason why I did it this way, was I wanted, like if this failed to work, which is entirely possible, at least I would have had some, saving grace to it, some benefit. As it is, it all worked. Now I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Processor back in his stack. This stacking of things like this is because the ST doesn't have a bus like the Amiga has. Zorro 1, 2, 3, and the Mega has the Mega Bus or VME. I'm not sure what the TT has. Presumably, something, probably VME. And there we go. We're going to go back, fire it up. It's hard to get an angle on the whole thing here for you. Okay. Well, there you go. Oh, of course, here, this is really fun. This is a cool toy, but it's got a bunch of different system configurations. Geneva, which I haven't gotten to run, standard Falcon, multitasking. I have been fiddling with Mint myself. So, NVDI is huge. I'm going to go ahead and run a benchmark, gem bench. And I'm going to use this same configuration, but instead with only a 68,000 processor. So you have a 68,000 running at 8 megahertz. In the comparison, but running out of alt RAM, which is cool. So there's definitely a big boost. The alt RAM and the NVDI really makes a big difference. So, oh, here we go. Gem bench. Let's go. We'll go ahead and load. We're going to open test, which for me is 68,000 at 8 megahertz with alt RAM. We're going to load that one, which is this machine with a 68,000 processor plugged into it. So that's the comparison, and here's our present system. Test all tests. Oops. We're going to load multitoss because it provides the, so far, best stability with the best feature set, toys, all that stuff. NVDI makes a big difference. It makes a big difference on the stock machine. I'm going to run Gem Bench here once this comes up. And as I said, this particular configuration is real stable. It you can run Gem Bench while running multiple other applications, and it just reflects in the performance, you know. So here's Gem Bench. I'm going to load a test that I made with this just a little bit ago. I pulled the 030 processor and I put the 68,000 back in. So it's a 68,000 at 8 megahertz using alt RAM onboard Storm to run the application, which it gets a big boost from, plus NVDI. So they're running the identical operating system configuration. Now we're going to go ahead and run all tests. I opened 50 of these, 31, 38, 40. I'm opening my mail. Yeah, they're still killing trees these days. It's testing alt RAM. And there you go. Now this is compared with the same machine with a standard 68,000 processor. If you compare it to a stock STFM, you'll see a whole nother ball game. This right here is like about 4600, is about 600% faster with the stock 16-bit processor at 8 megahertz. This is, of course, another ball game. I wish that sysinfo for the ST was like sysinfo for the Amiga or for all the other machines like Unix, because ours doesn't really have benchmarks built in. You have to use something like GenBench. It's not quite the same. All right, well, thanks for visiting. Have a good day.